Hi, this is Tom from Knife Delights, and you're watching me on TK's Slice of Life. Take your time, no pressure, no pressure. I've taken a couple of them apart. The going back together isn't going so well. But
I got to get my head right. It's like Hello, and welcome to another episode of TK's Slice of Life, the show where we talk with content creators and the knife community alike. If you are a pocket knife enthusiast and would like to appear in a future episode of Slice of Life, simply email me at thriftyKaniffy@gmail.com, and we will see about having you on the show. Today, we're going to be having a one-on-one chat with Tom of Knife Delights, a channel right here on YouTube. Welcome, Tom, to the show.
Well, thank you, John, and thanks for asking me on.
Hey, you're welcome. So first question, very simple. Tom, can you provide us with some details about your YouTube channel and what we might expect to see there?
Well, I started my channel a little over a year ago. I guess my main focus is on slip joint knives and antique knives or vintage knives and a heavy dose of buck knives. I am a buck knife lover, so that's kind of my first passion there. And then I've started off on some other little sub collections. Recently, I've kind of been doing some knife cleaning videos, and I know you have been too. And I really enjoy those, and I enjoy doing them. Just learning how to clean them and make them look better. So, yeah, I'm pretty much into the traditional knives. So,
all right. So, a question for you, Tom. I noticed in the preparation for the show, you now have amassed 767 subscribers. And you're quickly closing in on the coveted 1,000 subscriber mark. Have you made any plans for reaching the milestone? And how do you plan to use the additional features that allows?
Well, if and when I reach that milestone, I'd like to do some lives, perhaps. I don't know if I do a regular scheduled live. That remains to be seen. And even doing some more interviews like this. I've been using the features for the community posts, and I'm learning how to utilize that even better. What's really helped my channel grow is using YouTube Shorts. And I know there's a little controversy out there because some people don't like the shorts, but right now that's the hot feature on YouTube, and that's where you get a lot of new subscribers with the shorts. So I don't want the shorts to overshadow my long form content, however. That's where my heart lies. So some people don't like shorts. Some people just don't like the shorts. And I know some other channels don't like doing shorts, and I totally understand why. In my studying of YouTube and how to, use it to the full impact there, YouTube's trying to compete with TikTok, so they're really pushing the shorts. So that's why you see a lot more shorts. And so if you're a channel out there looking to grow, if you can do, one short a day or even two shorts a day until it kicks in, it's really helped my channel grow.
So of all the sub collections that I've seen anywhere on YouTube, I'd have to say that your Case Ictus Shield collection is one of my favorites. Can you highlight some of the case knives and tell us more about what made you want to pursue that collection?
Well, I'm a Christian. Part of the Christian faith is the ictus, or the fish symbol, and that goes back to Roman times where Christians, that's how they identified one another. If someone thought they were talking to another Christian, they'd use their foot or a stick, or they'd draw like half a fish in the dirt or sand, and then if the other person was a Christian, they would finish the drawing. And so that's how that, and of course, ictus just is fish in Greek. So Case came out with or they've been doing an ictus series of knives now for several years. And actually, to start out, this was a smooth blue ice. And this is the small trapper, mini trapper. And of course, you see the fish symbol there.
Yeah.
And back in, I think these came out in 2018 in the blue. And that's kind of when the collecting bug hit me, and it bit me hard. And I remember seeing this knife, and the whole set of these, and I just started buying them one by one. And then I realized that they'd come out in different years. And so I went back and was scouring the internet. So that's a synthetic cover there, the smooth blue ice. Of course, that's the copperhead there. But they came out with this lilac color. One year, and I don't remember what year this is, they had the white synthetic, and that's a mini copper lock there. One other year, in years past, they came out with this bone, ultraviolet stained bone, and it's just gorgeous.
Yeah, it's a beautiful color.
It sure is. So I have a couple of them in this color. And of course, this is the Panama Trapper, and that's in smooth purple curly maple. That's it. Smooth curly purple maple. And this is one heck of a knife here, this Panama Trapper. So it represents 17 different patterns and about 5 different cover materials. The only pattern that I don't have that came out with an ictus shield that I'm aware of is we go back to the smooth blue ice. They came out with a doctor's knife with the ictus on it, and of course they're all sold out. I have an eBay alert out there. They send me an email every day on Case Doctor's knives,
Right.
And I'm just hoping someday one of these will show up. Like with the Panama Trapper, I don't have 5 or 6 different Panama Trappers in different cover material. I have the one. But it's nice to have 17 different case patterns. And it's allowed me to start this sub collection and get one of each pattern. And of course, another one here that's in the smooth curly maple. This is the 2022 Vault knife. So I've got 2 or 3 of their Vault knives in their Vault knife series. And this is a small swell center jack.
Right.
If it's bigger, you kind of refer to it as the Coke bottle.
Right.
But it's a 2-bladed jackknife here. Very nice little knife.
Since although buck knives are your primary passion, that your EDC is actually something quite different. Let's talk about your Victorinox Evo 11.
Yeah. Well, always like to have a multi-tool on me. And, I was a peace officer. And I had so much stuff on my duty belt, I didn't want to add a Leatherman to my duty belt. And I saw the Evo Grip 11. And I thought, well, now that's interesting. And I don't know if you can tell it on camera or not, but that's, concave.
Yeah.
So you can really pinch in there good. It's got really good ergonomics to it. And of course, this is sort of like a rubbery type anti-slip material on it. I just fell in love with it. I bought it and it's been in my pocket last 5 or 6 years. It's the first knife that goes in my pocket, whatever I'm wearing. Just got a lot of the standard little Swiss Army knife type blades and attachments. I really liked the fact that it actually has a Phillips head, a round Phillips head, not just the squared off one.
Right.
And with this one, then you can put it between your fingers there and you can really get some torque with it if you have to. Yeah, I just fell in love with this knife. It's so comfortable. Of course, it's got, the toothpick and the tweezers and that kind of stuff, cap lifter and all that. But yeah, and I think they come out with like an Evo Grip 11 even. It has even more tools with it. Let me put it that way so you can see it better.
Yeah, that was a little bit surprising when you started talking about that. I didn't expect that. I figured you would have been just a lockback carrier or something like that with the little 55 or, something like that. But
well, like I said, this is the first knife that goes in my pocket. It's not the only knife that goes into a pocket, though.
Right.
Lately, I've been using the 112 Slim.
Right.
Orange.
Okay.
It's a nice knife.
So yeah, there is a buck in there.
There's a buck in there. I'm pretty boring with my EDC. I tend not to change it a lot.
Really?
Not
like a lot of rotation, huh?
Not into the rotation thing, I guess. I've been carrying this one probably for the last month or so. Here in a few days, I'll probably change it to some other, knife, but always the Evo Grip.
You and I both share an enjoyment of cleaning up older knives and watching others' videos to see what tricks we can learn. Is there any restoration techniques that you've learned from others that you've used in your videos or you hope to employ in the future?
Absolutely. I'm jealous. I know I'm not supposed to covet, but you've got the sonic cleaner there, and I think one of these days I'm going to pick one up. That just seems like it's going to do a wonderful job, like you said, getting into the little cracks in that. So the mineral oil bath on a lot of the knives, and that came from Gizmo Carr, a suggestion for him. I recently shot a video, and it's going to be the Stuart Harvey approved method of knife cleaning. He he left me some comments on his 3 steps of how he soaks it first in Dawn dish liquid, and then in vinegar, and then in the mineral oil. So I did a knife that I did all 3 of those steps. It'll be released here probably within the next week or so. Well, yeah, there's just a lot of people out there. The viewers are just so terrific about leaving comments of, hey, I do it this way, or have you tried that? And that's a lot of the fun of this is, okay, let's try this. I've got a 3-part series now on the electrician's knife that I'm just experimenting on, and I'm just having a lot of fun with it. But someday, my goal, I think someday, is to learn how to actually take them apart, repin them, and do actual full restoration on slip joint knives. Yeah, I try to point out to people that if you want to try this method that I'm doing here, do it on an old knife before you do it on great grandpa's knife, that you prize and cherish. Make sure this is going to work. So, yeah.
Exactly. All right, Tom, so can you share with us some of your favorite buck knives?
I sure can. One of the things that got me started on buck knives is this old 112. It was made in, I think, 72 to 86. It's one of the 2 dots. And this knife belonged to my father-in-law, who passed away several years ago. And this was passed down to me. I sent this knife in for Buck's refurbishing, and they put a factory edge on it. And it's just a beautiful knife. And I just fell in love with the Buck 112 and with buck knives in general. And this was a user knife. I mean, just look at the sheath. He used it. This is got to be up top there of my favorite knives. And now when I discuss my favorite knives, they're favorite for different reasons. This is a favorite one, especially for the sentimental value to it. Well, another one that would be a favorite because it's a limited edition, and this was probably from a Buck Collectors Club or Buck of the Month Club type knife. This was the limited Buck Grizzly. There was 250 of them made. It's got the Sambar Stag covers. And this is the Model 500 Duke. And this is, I think, number, is that showing up? 115. And then it came with this really gorgeous sheath. I mean, this is, Saturday night square dancing, going to town knife and sheath. Here, that's what this is. And you can identify with that down there, can't you?
I mean, I can identify, but I don't participate.
You don't participate. Okay. So that's one of my favorite knives. I guess it's kind of one of the crown jewels in my, what do you want to say, more expensive type knives. Another knife pattern that I truly enjoy is the Buck 102, the Woodsman. And this one has a Cocobolo handle to it and the brass pommel and guard. Got that great clip point blade to it. And this one was, I don't remember the exact year, but from back in the 1996 or 97, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
And then it came with the brown sheath. And you can see it has the old Buck logo from back in the 90s.
Right.
So it says Buck, and I don't know if you can make it out, but there's a mountain there and things like that. So
yeah.
So the 102 pattern is a favorite pattern of mine. I have about 4 102s with different handles and different blade steels. Buck came out with this special run. This is the Buck 117. No, I'm sorry. This is the Buck 212. and it's supposedly the fixed blade version of the 112 Ranger. And this is the 212 Ranger.
It's like a 112 fixed blade.
Right, exactly. Yep. And they came out with around roughly 350 of these or so about a year ago. It's got the Cocobolo handle. And what's cool about it is it has an old style sheath. I mean, this is a old style, through the belt type sheath, the way they used to make them. And of course, you can't talk about buck knives without the 119 special. And this is a 75th anniversary edition. And I just lucked into this one, luck of the draw. I bought this at Walmart, and the guy opened the box up, and lo and behold, it had the anniversary logo there. So the story that I know of is, Buck started out just kind of handcrafting single pieces, and he would use old files and things like that. He bought scrap lucite, I think, from other companies to make the handles. And it was in World War II when they really sat down and really decided to become a manufacturer, if you will. And it was another 10 years or so. But anyway, in 1942, this style, I don't think it was called a 119 because they didn't number them then. But this basic knife was started in 1942, and they didn't have an official government contract. But I do know he made them for the military, and it's said that he even donated a lot of them, sent them to soldiers and stuff. So there's a lot of history on the 119 special there.
Well, thank you for that. That's quite the collection of bucks there, and that's just a small portion of your total buck collection.
Yeah,
but those are some really nice examples there. All right, okay. So you seem to frequent antique stores quite often. What's the best knife find you found coming from the store like that?
Just recently, one of my best finds yet was this buck fixed blade right here. And I didn't even know what it was. It was in a display case, and I kind of glanced at it and didn't give it a second thought and was looking at other things, and I come back to it, and then I looked down there closer at it, and it says Buck Custom. I had no idea about this knife. Ends up, it's a model 475, which is not a normal production model. It's called the Mini Mentor, and it's called the Running Deer, and that deer cutout is plated in 24 karat gold. The handles are box elder burl wood, and I believe it was a limited edition run in around 2002 or 2003. And again, it was probably one of like a buck of the month type knives. And then it comes in this sheath here. It doesn't say Buck Knives on it, but it's got a buck stamped in there. So this was one of my best finds yet. Another one that really tickled me, and this just shows I love all kinds of knives, and I love history of knives. And I found this little doohickey here. Had no idea what this was. But this was called the Boy's Favorite. And it's just two pieces of stamped metal and just a little single blade jackknife. So this could have come from the early 1900s, the 1920s, or something like that. It's one of those knives that if you were a little boy and your dad handed you one of them, you were probably prouder than a peacock to have something like this. For the history of the knife, it was a great find. When I'm looking in these antique stores, I'm looking for one, I'm kind of looking for different tang stamps. I'm looking for different manufacturers, companies that are no longer in business. And this is a Hibbard, Spencer, and Bartlett two-bladed jack. It's got this really nice bone for the covers. I think it was in Chicago. It was a hardware store. Fascinating history. The last guy on the name, Bartlett, started out there at the company as an employee and worked there for many, many years, and actually ended up being able to buy into the company and get his name added to the company. Without checking and going from memory, I believe this company, through several evolutions, is what we know as True Value Hardware today. As you know, when you're looking at these old companies, they go through several evolution. This company buys out that company, and then
Sure.
two other companies merge, and then another company buys those merged companies out, and it gets pretty convoluted
It's
sometimes.
convoluted, very, very convoluted.
It does. It does. And then here's another interesting one that I thought. This is a Henry Sears and Son. No relation to Sears and Roebuck. Anyway, it's a cattle knife. I believe read my Carta covers on it. And as you can see, the punch here is the tip is broke on it. But I thought this was just a beautiful and interesting little knife. So Sears came from Prussia. He was originally a Prussian knife maker, and then made his way to the United States. And this is from W.H. Morley and Sons from New York.
Sleeve board whittler.
It's a sleeve board whittler, and it's got a clover leaf on the backside that was supposed to kind of indicate it's one of the top of the line. Morley and Sons was in business from like 1905 to 1927, or so. This knife is probably close to being 100 years old.
Yeah, getting close.
And this is one of the nicest mother of pearl covers I've ever seen. They just shimmer and shine.
Iridescence, huh?
Yes.
That was from a local antique store, correct?
Local antique store, yes. I think this cost me $6.
Yeah, I think you have the greatest antique store in the world, somewhere there in Iowa.
Well, I visit several.
Either that, you're very lucky.
Well, a little luck never hurts,
yeah,
but
it is.
The searching for them is part of the fun too.
Okay, so next question. Where do you see the future direction of your collection going for 2023? Is there going to be any particular focus?
I really need to focus on my buck knives. That's my first true love. You know, they always say you need to dance with the one you brought to the dance, right? Yeah. And well, I've been letting her sit in the corner while I've danced with other partners. So I need to get back to my buck knives. There's several of them in like the 700 series of the old slip joint knives. I have 2 out of maybe the 5 in that series. I need to track down the other, 3 out of that series. They're not made anymore, so it's going to be, eBay type stuff. But there's some gaps in there that I just need to get filled in. Another one is one of the, well, we call them a bosun's knife, but sailor's knife, mariner's knife, the one with the marlin spike on it. Buck did make a version of that. I've been wanting to get one of those. To get one in decent shape, though, you're going to pay a pretty good price for it. But
yeah,
one of these days I'll pull the trigger on that. So that's really my focus, I think. I'm hoping to. Now, I have been buying some budget knives from like Menards and other places. Knife brands that you don't see reviewed on YouTube very much. And I don't know if they're that bad that no one wants to review them, or if it's just an oversight. Like the Guidesman series from Menards. How do you know if you have a high quality knife or not? How do I know that my buck knives are better quality? Well, I have to buy some of the budget knives in order to have something to compare to. And so I want to try to share more of that with my viewers. And some of these, what we call budget knives, are still really, really good knives. And Tobias Gibson left a good comment on one of my videos, going back to this Hibbard, Spencer, and Bartlett.
Yeah.
So this knife was a house brand knife in its day. So a Guidesman from Menards, that's a house brand. Right. So 50 years from now, 75 years from now, when somebody comes across a Guidesman's knife, they're going to say, who made this? Where did this come from?
All right. So what's been the best thing about starting a YouTube channel for you?
The best thing that has happened is I have been able to meet so many great people and make such great friends, yourself included. I've said before, you and RJ, were one of the first ones to reach out to me when I first started. It's a little daunting when you first start out and you don't have many subscribers, and it's like, man, nobody's watching it. Did I even keep doing this, but you just keep grinding away and plugging away at it. And so, yeah, the best thing is getting to meet everybody and making such good friends. I can't explain enough what that means to me.
I wouldn't just say the best thing, but the biggest surprise too, because you didn't really expect
No.
the outpouring of, support that you get.
We think of the internet as cold and impersonal and this and
Yeah.
that, and yet, let's face it, we got people from all over the world, talking to us and
Right.
complimenting us or saying thanks for this or thanks for that, and yeah, I don't even know how to put it into words, John, to be honest. It's almost therapeutic for me having the channel.
So, money no object, Tom, what knife would you buy?
Oh, wow. The one that comes to mind, and I don't remember what the model number is, but it's a buck knife, and it was one designed for the Navy SEALs, I believe. It was a survival knife. It had, I think it first came out in the late 60s or early 70s. I don't even know how to describe the knife. A decent one probably goes for anywhere from $400 to $600, maybe $700, something like that.
Oh, okay.
If I could ever save up and get the opportunity to purchase one of those, that's probably what I would do. I guess that would kind of be a Grail knife.
Grail knife, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Tom. So we're going to start the rapid fire round. The only rules are you must pick one or the other, and there's no yes or both. Same as I told RJ.
Oh no, this isn't fair.
All right, so we're going to start out easy, and then it'll get a little more difficult as we go. All right.
Okay.
All right. So spear point or clip point?
Clip point.
Folder or fixed blade?
Fixed blade.
Canoe or peanut?
Canoe.
Buck 110 or buck 112?
112.
Buck 102 or buck 119?
Woo! 119.
Boxers or briefs?
That one hurt. That one hurt, John. All of that hurt.
Boxers or briefs?
Briefs.
Who has the better beard, RJ of RJ's Knives or Grizzly Adams?
RJ is right. I have to go with RJ. He's right up there. Yep. He's done well.
I do like Grizzly Adams' beard. All right. Well, thank you, Tom, so much for the interview. I do so much appreciate you taking your time out today to speak with us. No easy question, but you plowed through and gave me some great answers. I appreciate that. And just want to give a shout out to anyone who wants to join in on the Slice of Life interviews. Like I said before, anybody who's commenting or anybody who's a content creator can just reach out to me at thriftyKaniffy@gmail.com. Any words to sign off, Tom?
No, just thanks again for having me on. This is a terrific series that you've started here, and I look forward to all your other or your future interviews. The more we get to know each other, the better it is for the entire community. And I guess I should say that's another surprising thing for me is how well everyone gets along in the community. I mean, yeah, every now and then you get a little bump and a glitch, but overall, everyone is just so cooperative, and everybody's so excited about the knives and sharing their stories and it's just a fun community to be part of.
Well, I agree with you very much there. I'm Thrifty Kaniffy for Tom at Knife Delights. Make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the bell to be made aware of videos when they drop. Hope everyone has a fantastic day today. Everyone take care.
It's one of those knives that if you were a little boy and your dad handed you one of them, you were probably prouder than the peacock. Well, a little luck never hurts.